Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I am really excited to bring on Cory Infinite and Svea Herstar, two local Kansas City designers that are going to really blow you away with some of the creations that they have. To be honest with you, you're going to have to go onto their social media to see what I'm talking about, or check out Cory's book that we also go through in this episode. But they are visionaries in what they are creating, and they have some really cool stories to talk about how they are building their brand. So if fashion is your thing, if you're looking into something creative for yourself, then this one is definitely for you. Enjoy. I am so excited to have you guys in the studio today. It's so good to actually meet you. We were just talking before about how I basically hunted you down at the Jeremy Scott show with Catherine at the Nerman, because I had seen, I'm trying to remember when I first learned about you. It might have been the Kansas City Magazine cover.
Yep.
When was that you were on the cover?
I think that was back in 2023.
Okay.
I think. I'm so bad with dates and times.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think.
Well, ever since COVID, we're all like lost in time too, right? Yeah. But I think that's how I had discovered you and started following along. And then, of course, leading up to the podcast, I was researching you guys, which I was like, bring your wife in. This will be really fun to have both of you guys. So thank you for coming in. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves, your names, and how you came up with them and what you guys do?
My name is Svea Herstar, and my parents came up with that.
They did?
That's my middle name, is Herstar.
That's your middle name?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you just came up with that as like an Instagram name. Oh my gosh, how cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, luckily it's a really cool name to sort of bridge off of, and there's ways to brand it, and so that's kind of what I've been working on, is branding myself, just like Cory has done.
And Svea.
Svea, yeah.
What is that? Where does that come from?
It's Swedish. My great-grandparents came from there, and I think my dad's side just kind of stuck with the Swedish names, and my brothers both have Swedish names, and
very cool. Yeah. That's so fun. And the middle name, do you know how I
think my dad just made it up. I don't know.
Great.
I think he's very a creative individual. Both my parents are, and so I'm thankful for my name.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. And what do you do?
I'm also an artist. I make clothes, and that's what I'm really focusing on, but also don't want to build a box around myself. I'm like wanting to get into music and stuff too.
Ooh,
so
that'll be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, what about you?
My name is Cory Infinite. My parents did not name me that.
That would be incredible if they did and you guys both met, and man, that would be fate.
But the way I created the name was just really just like simple. I just was in my friend's basement. We were kind of brainstorming words that sounded good after Cory, because my username on Instagram for the longest time was Cory Johnson 123. That's my actual name.
You're like pretty original. Let's amp
yes.
that up.
Yeah, so the word that just sounded the best after Cory was just Cory Infinite, and kind of just like after that went with it and branded it around kind of what I do, and just, you know, viewing art as like this thing that doesn't have a boundary or a limit, and the potential is infinite. And so kind of just naturally like worked itself out from just like the beginning. And I just the last 6 years I've been hand making clothes in my house, or I originally was at my dad's house when I graduated high school. So ever since 2020 I just went the entrepreneur route and just started making clothes every single day and posting them on the internet, just because I knew if I didn't want to like go to college or art school, and I had to like get my voice out there somehow, and I knew the internet was that way. So
were you, first of all, do you guys work together? Do you collaborate? I think there's some stuff that you guys have done. How does that work for you two?
Well, our house is really small, so it seems like every action is a collaboration.
I love it.
I have a picture I'll show you after this of just how crazy it gets when we're both working on something. But we collaborated on the Wooden Hoodie and spent 210 hours together on that.
That is wild. I do I noticed with you that you put, and you probably do too, but you put the hours on a lot of the work that you show that you guys do, which is like, I can't even wrap my brain around like what that even looks like, that many hours. And so you're talking about the Scrabble tiles, right? How did you guys come up with that to do that together?
I think we were talking about just the interest in multiples of just like objects you wouldn't expect to see all together, like that many of. It's kind of like awe-inspiring, and so we were just talking about different things we could do that with, and that was just one of the things we were like, all right, we got to see that in real life.
Yeah.
So
where is that today? Do you guys like have
It's
it
just in our house.
hanging in your house?
Yeah, our house is just like the whole house is a closet. Like
Yeah.
every nook and cranny has something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, is it fair to say that you guys have an extremely unique vision and talent? Like, have you ever come across anybody else who's doing something similar to what you're doing? And people absolutely, I mean, to get this, they have to go to your social to go look at what you're creating. But it is like phenomenal. I mean, it's truly like so impressive what you do. And I was curious, like, if you like, what were you dressing like before you created some of this stuff too?
Yeah, I was just like always interested in fashion.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is like this. So my mom had a journal. I've said this so many times, but she kept a journal about me when I was like really like a baby. And on one of the pages, she wrote down that when I was 3 years old, I was particular with the clothing that I would wear, and I would change like multiple times a day. And so I've always been interested
Early
and loved
on.
it. Yeah. But I think it's just kind of evolved. I think I had an older sister, and I think I was definitely like influenced by her. She would always tell me like, you should wear this and this, like, you know, like kind of, she was kind of keeping up with the trends. And like in middle school, I was wearing like Sperry's with like cargo shorts and like a polo tee, like a like a fraternity bro. Like,
A little different than now.
yeah, it just evolved over time until I kind of just found my taste. Yeah. Just through experimenting.
Yeah.
yeah, I think I always like, I changed multiple times a day, like every day of my whole life, and I my mom didn't clock that, but I mean, thinking back, I can. And we always like, we rarely kind of shopped at, you know, outlet stores or like
The
name
commercial,
brands.
yeah.
We were always in thrift stores, and so from that came a lot of like experimenting with what fits and what we can buy. Like, you bring a $10 thing to your mom and she's like, no, that's not for $10. So then you go, I don't know, put stuff together from the thrift stores, and I've been doing that my whole life. So
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, man, it is so fate that you guys came together. This is amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Meeting someone so similar, it's pretty crazy to see.
Like some divine intervention there. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, okay. So, and we've got this is your book that you published, which, thank you. I'm so excited to have this.
Absolutely.
But I want to hear, so people can obviously, they'll go look up what you have, but can you talk about like some of your creations, maybe some of your favorite ones that you've done, or maybe some that you're most well known for, or just whatever you really want to like brag about that that you guys have done, because it's truly impressive.
I would say I really, my favorite, like one of my favorite things I've been able to make is the keyboard jumpsuit, probably.
Yeah.
So it's the one that took the most amount of time, and all the like keyboards were sourced from like a company that was throwing them away in Kansas City. And so it was just like a really exciting project to kind of take on and complete, because after, I don't know, when you kind of like know you're about to get into a piece that's going to take like hundreds of hours, it's just like this huge mountain that you're like staring at, but as you're climbing it and as you see like the pieces start to you know, actually show up onto the garment over time, it's fulfilling and exciting.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like weeks at a time that will take to create. And do you make these things to sell? Do you make them ultimately and they're one of a kind, right?
Yeah, I've done some merchandise stuff where I'll, you know, have like a company screen print some shirts and stuff like that, or like hoodies. But yeah, for most part, like all the handmade stuff is one of one and unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys just wake up in the middle of the night with this vision? Are you like, okay, 2 a.m, get up, go jot down, or how do these things come to you?
Sometimes
respectively,
it's like hard to fall asleep, because a lot of times we'll be like making all day, or like, you know, just really, you build up a lot of momentum when you create your ideas, and like from that there's like infinite ideas, like limitless amount of things that you kind of come upon in your mind. And so I think for me sometimes it's hard to fall asleep, because I'll just have an idea and have to keep on like writing it down on my phone, and then I'm on my phone and it's just yeah.
Yeah, I think at nighttime, that's when my brain is really working and like thinking about things. But in the morning is when I'm like actually like physically moving around and cutting the material, sewing it together and stuff like that. But at night is definitely the time that I get my best ideas.
Yeah. So with some of the things that you create, Do you wear them out in public for fun or to kind of like get your brand out there, or just because you love wearing them? Like, what kind of reactions do you get from people? They've got to be so intrigued either to work with you or just like ask like who you are, right?
Definitely. Yeah, it's a part of just the brand and like the advertisement aspect. I think it's cool because it's almost like you're wearing a painting or you're wearing a piece of art, you know, for people to see wherever you're at. And so, yeah, it's just a really easy way to connect with people and like instantly like show them like this is what I'm making, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also just have this desire to like create these things. And so it, I think ultimately it is a part of your brain. And so like naturally, I like to wear the things that I make just because it's like showing people, Yeah,
well, I would imagine you probably love most of the things that you're creating because it is your vision after all. So what is kind of the dream of what you guys want to do with this, whether it's separately or together? And you've done a lot, which I'll kind of get into. I was doing all my research and I'm like, oh my gosh, the places that you've been mentioned or somebody has worn. We'll have to talk about ASAP Rocky. Like you have a really, really cool story, and you can add in like, you know, color if you got the similar stories as him as well. But like, this is amazing. Where do you want to go with it?
I want to just take it however far it allows it to be. Like I don't know, I don't have like goals, like I don't have like specific like goals. I have like dreams of different things and like ideas. I want to do like a runway like on water one day or something with,
I
like,
wonder there has to be some kind of show, right?
Yeah, like I definitely want to do stuff like that, but I think the goal is to just like be happy every day, wake up, be grateful and content with where I'm at no matter what. You know, that's the ultimate goal, is just to appreciate life in itself and just like create things because we get to, and just naturally like not have these like expectations or like these things that we have to get done, but just allow it to kind of like unfold and try to appreciate every bit of the process, because you never know where it'll take you, and you never know like where the process will take you when you're creating things. I think when I'm making stuff, a lot of the time I don't know what it's going to look like, and that's the fun of it.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like just relates over to like, you know, the vision of like the whole vision is just like try to just, no matter what happens in life, roadblocks, whatever, or what happens within like the piece that you're creating, just like try to appreciate the process of it and be grateful for it. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't have a specific like end all goal or whatever.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm asking that because I figured there was probably something like a fashion show, which would be really fun to do. Is that something that you want to do in Kansas City? Oops.
Yes, in the near, like in sometime in the future. There's no like defined date or anything like that, but we want to do a show together.
Yeah, definitely want to do a collab runway show. I think that'd be awesome.
And I was gonna say, I come from the corporate world, and I laugh when people are like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" I'm like, I have no idea, you know, right? Like you probably didn't see yourself married a year ago, and you know, here you are.
No.
So yeah, life can happen so fast, and so many things can change. But I do, I wanted to know too, just like, you know, what else is it that we can kind of put out there that you guys want to accomplish, or are there certain collaborations that you would love to make happen? Are there things in Kansas City or people in Kansas City that you would love to work with that you haven't yet, or beyond, not just Kansas City?
I think like I'm seeing everything that Cory has done, and it's quite a blessing to live so close to like the root of all of that magic and hard work, and just to have him by my side. And I would say like a lot of my dreams, you know, are similar to just like waking up and making things. That's like the ultimate like life force behind like all of the things you want to accomplish. But I want to, you know, make things for, you know, people to wear, and I think like expanding my brand in that way is like the biggest, most attainable dream at this point.
Yeah.
And
it'll be under your name, is your brand. It'll be okay.
Svea Herstar.
Yeah. Awesome. So I was telling you before we came on, so Needaloo Handmade is a local maker. She actually, she's in Lawrence, but she's done Fashion Week. She's gone to Paris for Fashion Week and stuff, but she does these. She's got a Turkish husband, and they go to Turkey, and she like finds all this fabric and makes these really cool creations. You'll have to look her up if you're not familiar with her. But what made me think of it, especially to like bring it into this conversation beyond just fashion, is like the sustainability aspect. And I am obsessed with like, I've watched so many documentaries on how much crap just gets like put out there, right, across the world, and all the fast fashion documentaries and everything. And this is something that's hugely important to you guys, right? So how do you go about, like, did you always have an interest in that, or did that come to be over the last 5 or 6 years to get into that? Like, where did your interest come from to focus on the sustainability piece of it?
I think it definitely like unfolded naturally as I started to get more into fashion. But I think the root of that is in just like my spirit wanting to always create. I've always liked to create ever since I was little. Same with, you know, like wearing things and stuff. I think, the root of it just comes from me just needing to make stuff. And then just like the easiest way to do that is using what's around you already. And so, when I started to just like sew, it was like, I'm not trying to spend a whole bunch of money on, you know, material or equipment. I used my mom's singers from like the 1970s and like
still working like a charm.
And you know, I made like all my my first pieces on that, and just kind of went to thrift stores and stuff. So it was just like this natural process. And I think that's like what excites me too about it is that you never know what you'll be able to work with or find when you're out looking for stuff. And it's also too like fun because you're not putting like a specific like framework around like a piece. It's just like you can allow it to become anything through just like the open-mindedness of looking at different materials and appreciating them for what they are, and then seeing, you know, potential in them.
I feel like trash can always be treasure, you know, like you can find, it's fun to create in the way that we do because you can find beauty in everything, or like create it, you know, by adding more and more together and just kind of pushing further than what you see.
So what are some of the places that you go to locally that you shop at, and then can you like walk us through how you identify the things that you want to get? Like, does it just kind of like boop, like the idea kind of pops in your head like a bubble where you're like, oop, start to see it coming to fruition of this could be it? How does that work? I want to get inside your heads because I think it'd be so fun. One
of my favorite spots is a Salvation Army thrift store off Berry Road, north of the river. I just like that place because it's so big and like there's not a lot of people. There's just like a lot of space, but there's still so much stuff in it, and it's all pretty reasonably priced. And I think one time I was just like walking and I saw like this radio like probably 20 yards away, and it was like it looked like a head just sitting on the shelf, and so I just like ran over to it, bought it, and turned it into a mask like that night. And so that's kind of how it works. Like
definitely saw that. So fun.
Thank
Which
you.
I guess and continue on, but I was gonna say I think that you had that on display at the Museum of Kansas City, I think, right? So we'll get to that next, but you can keep talking about how you kind of go in and where you shop.
That's a good spot there. I mean, I'm trying to think where else I go.
River Market Antiques is pretty good.
Oh yeah, you got to mention River Market Antiques. It's such an awesome place.
I have to be honest, I haven't been in there.
You should.
So I know that you
Check
talked
it
about
out.
it, so I added it to my list, my own bucket list to do. So
it's awesome. It's so big. Every
what
floor.
makes them so great? Do you know, did they just source differently from, or do they get donations, or how do they work? Do you know?
I think it's just there's a bunch of individual boutiques, like, and it's like literally like 4 stories, massive, just floors packed.
Oh my gosh,
to the brim.
I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah, like just so much. They have a basement and then 3 floors.
Okay.
Just so big, packed to every inch is just packed, and every vendor is like pretty awesome. Like they all have good just stuff.
Okay.
I think really like just going into a place and life open-minded, and so like just expecting nothing and being able to like pick up inspiration from anything. Like don't let any idea be denied, you know, like kind of like see a radio from across the room and be like, all right, I guess that's gonna be a mask today, you know?
I love it because I think it's hard for people to imagine like the creativity like that, right? Like all of our different personalities. I think I'm a creative person, but on a different level than you guys. Like, and I think I had read, so the word avant-garde, is that something that you guys use? Like, what does that mean to you in the world of fashion? Is it something that you guys want to align with what you're doing? What does that look like?
I don't know. I sometimes use that word like in a funny way, like avant-garde. Like it's just like very like it's so.
I don't know. Does it even have the same meaning today as it did 100 years ago? I have no idea. I don't know how it's used today. Truly,
I honestly don't even know what it really means. Like, is it
it's like boundary pushing and like unexpected or something? That's kind of what I like feel when I hear it. I'm not sure if that's right,
like
but
experimental kind of or
very
something.
experimental avant-garde. I think like I don't think about that, but maybe that could be defining what we're doing. I don't know.
in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some of that for sure in our art and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
my gosh, I love it. Okay, so we talked about Jeremy Scott, who I would love to have on the podcast as well. He is a local fashion designer, as obviously, I say obviously, not everybody knows who Jeremy Scott is, but he just had this incredible exhibit at the Nerman Museum, which is where, of course, I saw you guys. Was he one of like the original inspirations for you, or did that come later? And what's your relationship like with him? Because his vision and his success coming from Missouri is awesome.
Yeah, he wasn't actually an inspiration. I didn't find out about him until probably like 3 years into like making stuff. So back in like 2023 is probably when I like heard of him and like saw some of his art. But I never like when I first started making clothes, I never really looked at like designers or like I don't know. It just wasn't
even on your radar.
I just like to go out to thrift stores and like break things and put them back together in like different ways and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, he just like popped up on my radar. I was like, wow, like this is like so cool. And then so I found out about him, and then I think I found out a little bit after that he was like from Kansas City. I was like, whoa, that's so cool. Like, especially with just kind of all the parallels and like similarities from my art to his and everything. So it was just like really cool. And I got to meet him like a day before the event. Me and my mom were invited to like come see it, and he's so nice and generous and just like showed me and my mom around the whole exhibit. And then I even like asked him, I was like, hey, like would you ever be open to like sit down with me and have a conversation where I can just pick your brain on stuff? And we got like a lunch, and we just like hung out, and then we went to River Market Antiques after.
That Midwest nice, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy with your Midwest, because
he's so nice.
For people who don't know, he's done like Moschino, and like he's had a lot of celebrities that have worn his creations, right?
He's awesome.
Yeah. I know you have the like McDonald's thing. I saw a video of you wearing that.
My dad got me that for Christmas like a year ago.
Oh my gosh, I literally went and looked it up because I was like, I need that. Our 8-year-old is so obsessed with McDonald's, so anything that I can, which is sort of ironic for me being like Kansas City local everything. She loves McDonald's so much that I'm like, when you grow up, I think you need to own a couple franchises. Like, I think that's your future. But then I saw you wearing that, and I was like, oh my gosh, where can you get that? And then of course I go online, you can buy them on like eBay or whatever. But I was like, that would be perfect for her. So
You can borrow it sometime.
Okay, I might have to. Yeah, maybe like her birthday. You know, we'll just borrow it for the day. Yeah. So do you guys do custom creations for people? Have people reached out to you to do, and I don't know, is it custom? Is it commissioned? What is that like verbiage that applies?
I think kind of both.
Yeah.
Really, I think the most important thing is the alignment with like the energy between people, and also just kind of what you're trying to create, you and the other person. And so, I think custom has to do with like you tailoring it specifically for that person, and then commission is like the individual job.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's very specific to kind of like what feels right. You know, I don't want to like make something that doesn't, feel right with what I believe or what I stand for and stuff and whatnot. But definitely open to commissions and customs. Just has to kind of align with what I'm doing.
Yeah. So are they typically coming to you with some kind of vision and then you complete it, or are they just like, hey, I want something?
I've had both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Specific visions, or just like, full trust on just, do whatever you want kind of thing.
Do you want more of that? or is that more time consuming versus kind of the return, or like where does that fall for you for people that are interested?
I think it's just specific, because like it's specific in the way that like I want to like just make what I want to make at the end of the day. But also if it's like, like I said, if it aligns, like then, I'll take, all the commissions that can come my way. That's awesome. But yeah, it just has to feel right. And if it doesn't, then, we just keep making stuff that we want to make.
I think a fun part about like creating a brand that's like based on you is that you can prove to people that like, I don't know, like, or you don't have to prove to anybody, but like you can just show people kind of what your vision is, and then like every once in a while you get like someone that fully trusts you, and you can just, they're like, I want a pair of pants, and then you can do whatever to them. So yeah,
that makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about how do you go about publishing a book? Like, how did this come to be? Because this is really cool. I mean, not a lot of people get a book made, and this is this photo, let's talk about that first and foremost. We haven't even talked about this whole thing. Is this one of like the first things that you created, or is this just somewhere in the midst of all of your creativity?
Yeah, so it was just me and my friend Evan. We just made that book by ourselves. I went over
Speaking of.
Yep, there's the radio. That's it? The Radiohead, yep. Yeah, so my friend Evan, he goes to Mizzou, and he's a photographer, graphic design student, and he did all the photo and all the design by himself. And he knew a local book printer in Kansas City. It's called Bolt Hall, or Bolte Hall Printing. And yeah, so I would just go over to his house, and in his spare bedroom, he had just a little like backdrop set up where I just stand in front of the backdrop and he snapped the photo. And so, yeah, it's all just self done. It's not published anywhere. It's just, I have literally 2 pallets in my garage right now.
Do you?
Of those books just sitting. Yeah.
Let's get those out. This is like a great coffee table book for local. Yeah. I saw this one. Does the fan move?
Yeah, it does. It has like a pulley system. You can like pull it and it'll open up.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. When you look back, like, what did you guys want to be when you grew up?
Oh.
Anything related to what you're doing today, or did that completely evolve to something different based on, I don't know, something that happened? Like you mentioned, I read that you have like a T-shirt that you made in high school or something that kind of like you went back to, right? If you want to talk about that a little bit, that maybe kind of like STEM.
I think it just kind of naturally evolved throughout my life. I think when I was younger, I had more influence from my parents. They were always telling me I'd be like an architect or something.
Yeah.
But then like I figured out that I hate math and I do not like
join the club.
I don't like the structure of like school.
Yeah.
And just like all that stuff. So I think it kind of just evolved naturally through my life of kind of figuring out what specifically I like to do. And what I always knew that I liked to do was make stuff and wear things, and express myself through fashion. And I think what kind of opened my eyes to actually turning it into a business was just my fashion class I took my senior year of high school. Thank you, Mrs. Sylvie, my fashion teacher. She was the one that like showed me how to do like a sewing machine, how to use one. And so I did that, and my friends started to like ask if they could buy the things I was making, and then that like sparked in my head. I was like, okay, if my friends want to like buy these, I feel like I could probably sell these to other people around the world.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that went. It was just kind of, I just like knew what I liked and just ran with it.
Yeah.
And I knew what I didn't like as well. I knew, I didn't want to be like an architect. I love like, maybe I'll get into that one day, but just like the mathematical side and like all that stuff. I like
know your strengths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, math is definitely not one for me either. So that's a good thing we have calculators, Yeah. What about you?
I think that kind of came along more in college. So like I always was creative throughout my childhood and stuff, but kind of veered off of that in high school.
Okay.
And then I went to run track at William Jewell College up in Liberty, and I started making clothes in my dorm room, and I just started to really wear whatever I wanted around the campus, and started to just kind of see that like this can be something, like people see like how I'm wearing something different, or they mention how they want like my clothes out of my closet and stuff like that. And so I just started
what a compliment. Yeah.
Thank you. I just started to lean into that, and then I got made my way to art school, and so now I go to the Art Institute. And,
oh, you do now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and so I just started by making clothes in my room too, and people started to notice, and then you get more confident and like know that it can be something more than just
Yeah.
your expression.
Do you have a word that describes your style?
I thought you were gonna ask this, and I was like thinking about it, and
Not
I don't
avant-garde,
know.
but maybe something different.
I would just say infinite. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of naturally branded itself. And yeah, it's just like there's not a right or wrong way to kind
Yeah.
of do something or make something. And so it's just that opens up that creativity and that freedom of the limitless, potential.
That's honestly brilliant. Yeah, back to
Yeah.
like not putting yourself in a box, because the world changes so much and we change so much as people. I'm older than you, and I can tell you that like you won't necessarily be the same person that you were, 20 years ago when
Yeah.
you're in your 40s, and not necessarily like so vastly different, but you do. The world changes and you have to evolve with it, and your tastes change and everything. So I think that's really smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So faith, I noticed, is a big thing. I want to ask you about that. Is that important to you guys?
No, absolutely. It's like the number one thing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Thank
talk
you.
a little bit about that? Like, was that part of your upbringing? How does that find its way into what you guys do day to day or with your work? Because I love how open you are on your social media, at least with it, talking about it. As someone who agrees, with that as well, I think it's hugely important and probably guides you, I'm guessing, day to
Yeah.
day, right?
It guides the art too. It's like letting the thing that made you, the thing that's more powerful than you, like decide what you are to be used for in life, and just letting that kind of take over, and also rely on it in the same hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think recently it's been like, it's always been there and important to me, but I think even especially recently, as you like go through different things and face different things and have to be kind of like challenged by life, it'll kind of test you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's interesting. Like, I believe that we are given situations to either, to test us, to either like strengthen us for the future, or it can break us. And I think that's kind of going back to what I was talking about, of just like appreciating every day and like being content with where I'm at, being happy and stuff, and just knowing that like everything can be worked for good if you have faith, ultimately. And it makes life so much easier.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I wrote down a quote that you said on one of your posts that I really like, that aligns with that, which was, what's important is how we can love others through the things that we make and experiences that we get, which totally speaks to your tone, your outlook that you're talking about. And like, that's super admirable, especially in the world that we live in today. And I have no doubt you have days that are challenging and stuff, but like, you have such a great outlook that I think can be very contagious for a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
And by the way, you have a lot of people following you. How did that come to be? And how do you navigate that? And has it worked to your benefit in ways?
Ever
The
since
beast of social media, right?
Yeah. So, kind of going back to 2020, I graduated high school, and I knew, like I said, the only way to get seen was putting my art out there online. And so I would post literally like 5 times a day, every single day. I was on like,
Gosh, good for you.
I was like going crazy like back then.
Was this just videos of you? Like,
I would just like throw on stuff. Like, a lot of the stuff back then was very like makeshift and like DIY. I just kind of like pin things together real quick. I wouldn't spend a lot of time trying to make it functional. And so I really was like focused on the advertising aspect and the marketing and like making content for it. And so, I would just post so much and just like get it out there. And then if you do that, if you stay consistent with something you're passionate about and you show it online, like, people will recognize that.
Because you've got how many followers do you have on Instagram and then TikTok?
400 some thousand on Instagram and then 300 some thousand on TikTok.
And it's wild to read some of the comments. Like, they're very inspired by what you're doing. And you are like such a hype girl too. You're so sweet. I see your comments too. I don't know if they purposely show up because you like somehow they know you're married, but I see your comments on there and I'm like, oh my gosh, so cute.
Yeah, I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, that's amazing. The other thing, so you did Creative Mornings in Kansas City. When was that? Was that in the fall?
I don't know when, I forgot when that was.
That's okay. I was reading about you doing it, and this is what they put online, which is just a testament to going back to like the A$AP Rocky thing. I want to hear more about this. They said Cory has been able to work with brands and artists such as Converse, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Erykah Badu, A$AP Rocky, UFO 361. Is that right? Migos, Tizo Touchdown, Magdalena Bay. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And then his pieces have appeared in Vogue Germany. And have been worn on stage at Coachella, Dave Chappelle's nightclub, and on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Like, does that even resonate with you? Of like, or are you just kind of like so humble? Because as an outsider, I'm going, Vogue Germany? Like, how do you even get there? How does that happen? That's so great.
Yeah, that was the first thing, actually. The Vogue Germany was the first time that it was like, there was this moment of like, whoa, this is like reaching people across the world, and this is like that was like the first sign of like things really impacting people and working. I think it was all just like this like tight group of people that were supporting me at that time. I think that was back in like 2021, so that was like really early on. And then I got like a bunch of people commenting, just like tagging me like, hey, like your mask is in this video and your mask is like in this article on Vogue Germany. And so I looked, and yeah, apparently this guy's UFO 361 is like a German rapper, and his creative stylist just like bought the mask off my website. I shipped it to him. I had no idea, and it just popped up random.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's how that came about. But yeah.
Did you get credit in the magazine for it?
I don't know. I got tagged on like all their posts and stuff, I think, but I don't know if I don't think the magazine mentioned my name. But
just curious how that works.
Yeah, but yeah, Creative Morning. I just remembered Creative Mornings was like, it wasn't that long ago. It was pretty. Yeah, it was probably like 3 months ago or 4 months ago, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely an honor to get invited to that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not everybody knows your story about the A$AP Rocky. I know the story about how you, but do you want to tell that, and then like how's that impacted you, and like what did you create for that team?
Yeah, so me and my friends one night, we were hanging out one summer night. It was like midnight. We just like hanging out at my friend's house, and we were like, we're hungry, let's go get something to eat. And so we all get in our car, and like we're deciding where we want to eat, and I'm the only person that wants to go to some like Mexican restaurant or something different, but everybody else wants to go to Town Topping hamburgers. I was like,
a local favorite though.
Yeah, I was like, all right, we'll go. And so we go, and we're just, you know, hanging out or eating outside, and this guy comes up to me, and he's like, hey, where'd you get your outfit? And where'd you guys get your outfits? And we were like, we made them. He was like, oh man, these are awesome. I got this guy I'm shooting a video for. I think he'd really like this stuff. I was like, awesome. And
this guy.
Yeah, he kept avoiding saying his name. I was like, I was just like, who are you talking about? And he goes, A$AP Rocky. Yeah, like kind of quiet so no one hears. I was like, what is A$AP Rocky doing here? And he's like, he's shooting a commercial for Beats by Dre and a music video. And so, long story short, that was A$AP Rocky's creative director, and I got hired on to style A$AP Rocky and all of his models for that shoot in the West Bottoms for his music video. The Beats by Dre commercial, when I got on the set, was already done, and so yeah, like I started right when they were shooting the video.
On set, meaning in the West Bottoms? Is that where they were? Okay. Yep. And then what were you wearing at the time that got his attention?
It wasn't anything like super out there. It was just like a pair of duck boots, green like Adidas sweatpants, and then actually it's funny, I was wearing this shirt.
Oh.
And then I had a purple Cory like t-shirt over it, and then that was it. Yeah, so it wasn't like super crazy, but yeah, it was enough to get his attention. So did
you meet A$AP Rocky?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then are you still in touch with the creative director? Like, is there a way to collaborate on anything further? If you even care.
No, yeah.
What a cool opportunity,
I don't talk too much to them anymore, but like every once in a while I'll see like a comment or something here and there. But yeah, no, just an amazing like experience, and just like being able to, I met so many people, especially like from Kansas City, that are just so awesome and nice, and
people that were just locals helping.
Yeah, that got hired on, you know, like all the assistants and everything. Yeah, it was so special, and it was so cool. It was like it was a whole movie production. Like it was just like big, huge, you know, like camera cranes and like a director shouting at people. Like it was really cool.
The real deal. So the lesson is go to Town Topic when your friends want to go to Town Topic. Because you never know what's going to happen.
Yes.
And always dress up.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Wear something that
on.
expresses like what you feel. I guess.
Because you never know who's walking around around you. I know you mentioned before, like there aren't necessarily designers per se that you would follow or look up to, but like, do either of you have anyone in particular that you would want to dress or do another, you know, a video or a movie? Are those things that you think about at all?
Yeah.
Or is it okay?
Definitely. I think being on like a movie design or like wardrobe would be awesome. That's like definitely like a goal I want to do. And I want to do stuff with Jeremy Scott. I feel like that I don't know, it just work out so perfect.
Yeah.
It's just our alignment. I love Converse. I wear Converse like every day, and so I want to continue our relationship there. I think it'd be really special.
What did you create with Converse?
So I created 2 sneakers so far. The first pair was a Chuck Taylor that I redesigned with recycled keyboard membrane. Every keyboard has like a sheet called the membrane.
Yeah.
And so, I just totally reconstructed the shoe out of that. And then the second pair was actually heavily inspired by Jeremy Scott because he put like the little like toys on the shoes and stuff, like the stuffed animals. And so I made like I call them sneaker buddies. They're like just mini me's.
No way.
That you can put onto the laces. It's like I made one that is wearing like the keyboard jumpsuit.
Oh my gosh.
He's just like this little doll that you can put on the shoe. And
can you buy these to this day? Or was this like a limited time thing?
No, so these were just one of ones that
Okay.
they just wanted me to make a video and a shoe, and that was it. So I've done that twice now with them.
Yeah.
But I really want to continue that relationship for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we can make some awesome stuff and do some awesome things together.
Are there other brands like Converse that you want to do something with? And for you too?
I don't know.
And it's okay if not, I'm just curious.
Not off the top of my head, but just
We'll keep Converse
that was the
at the
one
top.
that yeah.
I feel like I'm just kind of stepping into my vision, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been working on like posting every other day at least. And I think like a lot of music inspires me. And so I have a handful of music artists that I think are really, really awesome.
Can you name any of them?
They're literally, Cory's already met like half the people that I love so much. But
really?
I think like Erica, I've listened to her since I was little and she's just so wonderful. And then like Tizo Touchdown I've been listening to a lot, really resonate with like how creative he uses his voices and his talent to like express different things that you wouldn't expect. And then Tyler, the creator, has always been like a number one for me. Dochi, really awesome. I have like a ton of people that I think are just so awesome, and I think just continuing to create, I'll like eventually line up with, you know, who's meant to be.
Got to put it out there, right?
Yeah.
Manifest or put it out in the universe or whatever you want to look at it as. Okay, good. That's I was curious about the ASAP Rocky thing and all that and just like what that turned into. So how can people interact with you guys around Kansas City? Are you out and about doing things? Like you had I guess you can talk about the Museum of Kansas City and what you did there, but like in what other ways can people interact with you, whether they're just like me, a local who's interested in following along with what you're doing or shopping or hanging out?
We go to the grocery store like every day, and we always like,
which grocery store do you go to?
Like I feel like one of the most like we get all of our interactions just in public wherever we go, and we aren't, you know, we're always at home, but like kind of, you know, go to the thrift store or go to the grocery store, and then
within your little corridor of KC.
We always get like, we start up conversations with like almost someone in every place we go, and it's super awesome. But I think eventually we want to build something like physical for people to come to and get resources and be inspired by and stuff in the city. So are you planning on staying in Kansas City, or does this ever bring you to want to live somewhere different and take this somewhere different, or do you know?
We both love Kansas City.
Yeah.
We just love like the spirit of the laid backness and not as fast paced. I think that just helps both of our creative process.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love to travel too, and so I definitely I want to get somewhere like. I love the beach, so I definitely want somewhere on the beach one day or something. I think that'd be awesome.
Okay.
But I love Kansas City. Yeah.
Well, good. That's good to hear. Glad you're not leaving anytime soon. Yeah. One thing I did want to ask about, going back to the social media thing, is how do you go about like now? Are you posting 5 times a day? Are you trying to grow it? Are you trying to what is your strategy with social media in the space that you're in?
Yeah, I think it's a different time versus like 5 years ago when I was starting. I think
Sure.
I'm definitely getting a lot more into, now that I have built up a bit of a following, I'm starting to really just focus in on like the craft and like making things functional and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so those can take a long time. And so I'm definitely not posting 5 times a day, but I do want to, I do try to continue to stay consistent with posting and keeping people updated on what I'm doing and things like that. But yeah, the focus is definitely for me right now, just like making the art as special and awesome as functional as possible, but also documenting that for people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you may not be into home decor, but I feel like that's something you could do too. I swear, with like the things that you're creating. Like, actually, I was going to ask you, and maybe I read it somewhere, but like, do people ever buy your things, or you probably do, but do people buy your things and then hang them?
Yeah.
As art, because they would be perfect for that. And
Thank
I
you.
mean, it's like, yeah. So
There's a guy
food for thought.
Yeah. There was a guy that bought the spoon jacket that I created, and he hung it in his living room as a chandelier.
No way.
Yeah.
Is he here locally?
I think he's down in Florida.
Did he send you a photo of what it looks like?
How
did he find you? Do you know?
I don't actually. I'll have to ask. I'm not sure.
I was just curious,
Just
like-
probably on Instagram or something.
He's searching like hashtag spoon jacket and finds you. Okay, good. Well, I have some fun rapid fire questions that I want to do with you guys here about KC. But what else have we not talked about with you guys? Anything that you want to share that's part of your story or that you want to put out there? Because I think that you guys are two completely like really cool, inspirational people doing something very different in Kansas City. And I've had so much fun following along, which is why I wanted you guys to come on here. But anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to share?
Do you got anything?
I think just like emphasizing that you can find the best thing if you just keep pursuing kind of what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
There are times when I like leaned on that as like, life force, So, yeah.
Good reminder.
I think to branch off that is to just try to find the lesson within it or within the things you're going through, or just you can always like find the light and find just like the positive from experiences and stuff. And so just to remember that through every experience, I think is really important. So
Love it. Great. It's very you guys. I love it. It's so perfect. Okay. What is currently on your Kansas City bucket list? What do you want to do around KC?
I gotta go. I feel like I haven't tried like any restaurants because I started coming up, like I lived in the city, but like kind of outside of it. And so I just moved to the Art Institute like a year or so ago. And I need to definitely try like all these like famous places that everyone talks about. Like,
what are the famous places that everyone talks about?
Maybe like, is there somewhere called Joe's Barbecue?
Yeah.
Wait, you haven't gone there yet?
I don't think so.
That's kind of a big deal.
Okay.
I didn't realize. Okay, yeah, we
Joe's
gotta
Barbecue,
go.
I guess.
Maybe do that tonight.
I might have had Town Topic like once, but I wasn't even living here, so I probably wouldn't hit the same. So I need to go back as a local.
I feel like there's some museums you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Like the World War One and like
That
some
one's incredible.
amphitheaters.
The Jeremy Scott exhibition was the first time I heard about that Nerman out there, and so yeah.
The Nerman is a hidden gem, and I can't figure out why. Because one, it's huge.
Yeah.
But two, people just, I'm constantly surprised how many people don't know it's there. And it's free. So yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Bucket list? We'll get you the Z-Man at Joe's. We'll make sure that happens.
I don't know. Maybe just to do some more in-person stuff and like bring people together more.
Okay.
Maybe I won't maybe do another like trash cleanup when the weather gets warm.
Is that something that you have done already?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did one in the West Bottoms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how you made the jacket with the plastic?
Yep. The trash jacket.
Good for you. I love that. Okay. Anybody in particular that you would want to hear on the podcast now that you've been on?
Jeremy Scott would be awesome.
Yep,
to hear
put
more,
that out there.
Yeah.
Jeremy Scott, please come on. Yep.
I mean, I know Janelle Monaza.
Oh my gosh. I've asked people, I'm like, how do you get in touch with her? Because I absolutely want her on the podcast being from here.
Yeah, I don't know. I tagged her in my story. She didn't see it. I made something recently that she wore. I think she wore it to some event. And it was like really similar to something I had just made.
Really?
And so I was like, please look at me. But
okay, well, together we will figure this out.
Okay.
Somebody in Kansas City, if you're listening and you know how to get in touch with Janelle, we'll bring her on the podcast and then you can come be my co-host.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else that you want to learn more about Kansas City? I mean, you moved here from out of KC. Anything else that you're like intrigued by or interested in learning more about this city? And you're born and raised here, so if there's anything.
I would say the spot to do it is the Museum of Kansas City. Like that museum is all focused on people from KC. So I definitely I went through. So it was kind of crazy. Like I didn't even hear about them until like they reached out to me.
Oh, they did?
Like, yeah, and then it just worked out where I was coming out with the book. Then I walked through their museum like briefly, kind of like going through it. But I want to go back and actually intentionally like look at all the incredible people from Kansas City and artwork. So.
Okay, so I don't even know if we talked too much about that. You did your book release there?
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you had like some of your creations on display, right? Yeah.
Yep.
It is a beautiful spot. Did you work with Paul over there?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah. Anything for you in particular?
I think just like the history maybe and like going to. I know that there's tons of like museums and like places to learn more about it. So I would say just like take a more intentional look in researching where to learn more.
I actually want to get some historians on here.
Yeah,
I'm not even
that would
from
be
Kansas City
cool.
originally, but I want to get some people on. I want to know about the history of barbecue, how it came to be. I want to know about like the Prohibition era. Like there's things. So I'm also looking for some people to come on and talk about that.
Cool.
So
Nice.
I'm with you there. In your opinion, what makes Kansas City so great, so unique? You guys want to stay here for a reason. When you think about KC, what do you think about?
I think there's like space and there's also like a certain like energy of reuse, like kind of living throughout it almost. And I don't know much about the history and I feel like that would be cool to hear about if there are like overlaps with like that as a history of the culture here. But I feel like just the way that the city is really speaks to maybe the way we make art or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of things. I love just the overall peace and like calmness compared to a lot of busy places. It's a lot more relaxed. But I also feel like we have a lot of pride and passion for the things that we love. And I think that just directly relates to like what I do and just like the love and passion that I have for creating and stuff like that. It's just like a mixture of a lot of really awesome things.
Yeah. Do you have any certain places that you find either inspiration in when you go walk through? Like I just went to the what is it, the Zuby Arts Center, I think is what it's called. Have you been there yet?
I've heard of that, I think.
I'm probably getting the name wrong, but it's close to that, and I'll make sure I tag him. But that's definitely a must. Go check that out. It's over like around like 18th and Troost, kind of that area. But do you guys have certain places like from an artist standpoint that you really appreciate and love and feel like makes this an arts community in KC?
I think for sure Scraps is really awesome.
Yeah.
For me, like I find a lot of peace and inspiration in like nature, and so I go to I started my like observations at my William Jewell campus, which is really beautiful.
Okay. I haven't been.
Yeah, it's really pretty to go like on walks or whatever, but also Loose Park, and that's
Yeah.
where he proposed to me too.
Aw, perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe you knew that she liked Lease Park.
We had some picnics there prior.
Literally, we had a picnic before that day, and I was like, someone literally got proposed to there, and I was like, oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's sweet. Maybe. Aw. Well, awesome. Okay, so where can people find and follow you?
My main platforms are just Instagram and TikTok. It's Cory Infinite, and that's my website as well, www.coryinfinite.com.
With your shop on there, yeah.
Yep.
I'm just on Instagram right now, really, at Svea Herstar, and I'm working on SveaHerstar.com. It'll be out in the next couple months. So.
All right, I'll look for it. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. It's so good to meet you and hear the backstory and like what you guys want to do, and we'll figure out how to get Jeremy Scott and Janelle on.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in and finding inspiration in these incredible stories. If you love what you hear, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, leave a rating, and share the show to help these Kansas City voices reach even more listeners.